Welcome to our daily reflection for this Thursday, October 31st. And today in all the readings, the theme is conflict, spiritual warfare. And we'll start with the gospel and then we'll work our way back. But Jesus is told in the gospel that Herod is out to kill him and he should watch out. And maybe the Pharisees aren't probably trying to look out for Jesus's security. They're trying to provoke him with conflict, and Jesus is unsurprised, right? To him, it's no big deal. He's like, go tell that fox that I'm going to be here today and tomorrow and the next day, and then I'll move on. But only in Jerusalem will I really have to worry, because that's where prophets die. And he says it's the fate of prophets to suffer. Now, it's interesting that Jesus uses the image of fox for Herod. And then he speaks about the people of Jerusalem and to the Jews. And he says, oh, like a mother hen, I wanted to gather my chicks about me, but you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't come under my wings. And here he uses the imagery of, that he's like a mother hen. Well, if Herod's the fox and Jesus is the mother hen, it doesn't speak well of how the conflict is going to work itself out, does it? And that we are his chicks, right? There's a conflict with the world. And this is what Paul is referring to. And Paul wants to remind us that don't get distracted by the physical, political, economic conflicts that go throughout the world, Paul says. Because, and Paul's acknowledging that they're there, they're real. But our real struggle is not with flesh and blood, but with the powers and the principalities. It's the devil and the kingdom of Satan that we have to fight against, and the prince of this world, which is the devil. That's where our true enemy, and we can't lose sight of it. And that's so important, because even when there's the political powers of this world that oppose the church and oppose the truth, oppose life, we can't absolutize our enemies as those political powers, because they're pawns of a deeper power. And that's where our enmity and our true fight is, because all those pawns, even political ones that are of flesh and blood, we have to see them as victims of the evil one, deceived by the powers of darkness. We want them not to be destroyed, but to be converted. It's the enemy that is the devil, that is our true and ultimate enemy. And then Paul gives us the spiritual principle of the spiritual warfare. But one of the things, we can get distracted by armor and helmet and sword and spiritual combat and what all that means. But what it really focuses and boils down to is our weapons are the truth, righteousness, faith, the gospel, and the word of God. And that's what we have to equip ourselves if we're going to be spiritual combatants, as Psalm 144 says, that God trains us for battle. And he trains us for battle with the word of God, the gospel, righteousness, and the truth. Those are our arms in this spiritual and great conflict. And there is a great conflict in the world today, but we have to see it for ultimately the true depth, because the devil moves the powers as the prince of this world, the political powers of the world, to suppress the truth, to suppress righteousness, to suppress the gospel. And so we have to enter into this great spiritual conflict, knowing that our true enemy is the devil and Satan and the demons and their deception, and we have to fight with the word of God, the truth, and the gospel, with works of righteousness and deeds. And so let's realize we're in a big battle, and let's take up the arms that God gives us. May the Lord bless and keep you.
This daily reflection is brought to you thanks to the generous support of the Mission Circle. Join the Mission Circle to help Catholics worldwide understand, live, and share their faith. Sign up at missioncircle.org today.